you? What's been happening?
Just back in lockdown. So, as I said, I've just been playing video games, eating bad food, playing with Frank here.
Frank, oh my god. Look at
Yeah.
him.
Yeah.
He's on the move now.
It's his 7th birthday on Sunday, so
I saw that. I saw that on
yeah,
your Instagram.
yeah.
That's a bit
So,
cute.
hung out with him for a bit and just that's about it, really. Yeah, it's very slow here in Queensland now.
Yeah, so it was meant to be a couple of days, but they've extended the lockdown a little bit longer.
Yeah, so it was meant to end on today at 4 o'clock, but they've pushed it to
Yep.
Sunday now. So yeah,
Right.
because we're
Okay.
just getting
What
more
up,
cases.
Ash?
I think it's like 16
Yeah, I
cases
saw
at the moment or
that.
something today.
I
Yeah,
saw that. It makes me very nervous to see that.
yeah,
The lizard's name is Frank.
he is.
He is a new addition to the stream today. I don't think we've ever had a lizard on the stream, so
Special guest.
special guest.
Well, I'm the special guest. He's the
Well, yeah, he's
He's the
like
main
the runner-up. He's
Yeah.
the runner. Oh my god, my streams, everything is being so weird today. I don't know why. Well, I do know why, because it's me, but it's nice to chat to you. We're gonna have a lovely chat. I'm gonna have a look through your work. I'll just wait a few more minutes because I think the notification just went out. So
yeah, no, easy.
Are you on Twitter?
No,
Oh, I'm
No.
gonna tweet anyway. I'll tweet a
for it.
photo of us.
yeah, I'm on just Instagram and Facebook. I'm very bad at all the
All
rest
right.
of it.
Well,
I
look,
can
it's not a
barely-
bad.
I could barely keep those two running. Hey,
Tell me about it.
I don't know how you do it.
It is an acquired skill that is
Yeah.
actually. I don't think I'm that great at it, to be honest. I got on a lot of them early, so I think, like specifically with Twitter, I'm going to take a photo of us. Ready?
Yeah, go for it.
Yay! All right, I'll use that photo. I just wrote live on Twitter instead of live on Twitch. All right, and come and hang with us. I'll write that. Come hang with us. And then, how are you going, Ash? How's your day? Ash is always here in the chat first.
Yeah, nice.
Michelle G. Hunter. All right, that's that, and I'll just edit this. Cute little photo. We look cute. All right. Cool.
Frank's
Done.
all shy.
Yeah, where did he go? He's
What are you doing?
buddy.
Come over
He's
here.
like, is he trying to get into your hood? I would as well.
Possibly, yeah.
It's very cold.
He likes where it's warm and dark.
Well, I was gonna say it's probably not as cold in Queensland, but
I'm bringing him back. Give me a sec.
Reed-
Oh. Zen's gonna save me.
Oh, okay. Do it. Oh yeah, is there a storm today, Ash? Oh god.
And I'm back.
I was gonna go for a walk this afternoon. I might miss out. What up, 80? Nice to see you. Good to see you here. I didn't go for a walk this morning because I thought I'd go this afternoon, but Ash was telling me there's actually going to be a storm. So
True. Brisbane's a bit overcast as well at the moment. It was sunnier this morning, but it's looking pretty grim right now.
Speaking of Brisbane, what up, Kenzie? Kenzie's in the building. She lives in Brisbane as well. She's been working very hard and hasn't
true.
been able to join us for a while. So
Yeah.
good to see you here. Rule out of context is also here. Hello, nice to see you here. Oh God, Ash, I'm not here for the storms. I'm not here for the Melbourne storms. That was your plan as well. We've got Mitch Lowe here today. I'm super excited to be talking to him. We're going to go through some of his work and his career and his story so far. It's going to be great to share this with everybody. But first and foremost, how have you found, I guess, our lives as music photographers over the last almost 2 years now? Can you
I know.
believe that it's been nearly... Just how are you finding things in general?
Well, in terms of music, it's just basically extremely slow. I think I've only shot
Yes.
maybe 4 concerts in the last, or since like April last year, maybe. Yeah,
Yeah.
4 or 5. So where you would normally do that.
I'm about that at that as well.
Yeah,
Maybe
yeah.
less. Maybe 3. I think I'm at 3.
Yeah, well, like I went to the Genesis Wusu tour and that was really cool. I shot
Ah,
the
yes.
Brizzy show of that.
I saw that.
I live right near the Tivoli, so I went there and did Confidence Man. And I did a Tide Lion show as well, and then I did some Factory Summer Festival ones that were like December last year that just snuck in. That's about it, really.
Ah, yes. Awesome. Yeah,
Yeah.
oh God. And so have you been subsidized? Have you been doing other photography stuff, or do you
Yeah,
have
yeah.
like a day job?
No. So I haven't had a day job since 2014 maybe now. So I've been full-time photographer since then. I do a lot of like interior design, like construction photography. So I work for like builders and designers and whatnot. And then lots of food stuff as well. So
Yeah, I've noticed that on your website actually. I don't think I knew that about you, that you did as much food.
Yeah, I don't really post, like a lot of the stuff on my website, I don't post much of. I just never really had the desire to share a lot of it for some reason. I've just kind of stuck to my like music stuff and just the more street kind of stuff that I like kind of thing.
Yeah,
the rest of it's more work kind of. That's why they're on the website. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's also to that thing about posting exactly the type of work you want to be doing. Are you one of those people? Like if you want to be doing more music, then you show that you want to be doing more music photography. Yeah. I'm a big proponent of that. That's usually the advice that I give. But we had a food photography challenge the other week. I should have got you in before that to give everybody tips. It would have been great. People found it actually quite difficult.
It is harder than I thought as well. Like,
yeah,
because like everyone's like, oh, food should be easy because you don't have to pose a person, or you know what I mean. Like you're not working with like another person, but
yeah,
it's harder. Like, how do you tell like a potato how to pose? Like, it's just
that's the thing. It's like it's definitely more styling involved in it, isn't it? And so I guess if you're not amazing at that sort of thing, which I think is there's definitely people that are really good at that. That's like something that comes really innate to them. It doesn't actually come that innate to me. I find it quite tricky.
It's a full-time job for people as a stylist.
Yeah,
and, like, I find it really hard as well.
Yeah, I find people easy, and then like moving inanimate objects around a bit more difficult. So.
Exactly. Yeah. It's like, smile. What are you doing?
Yes, exactly. But that's a really good segue to so you've been doing it full time for quite a while. But let's go back to the start. Let's tell everybody how you started, and then we'll talk about the transition going into full time. I know it's something a lot of people are curious about. It's that really tricky moment of, you know, how do you get from either part time or just doing it as a hobby into full time? It's that taking that plunge is always really tricky. So I'd love to hear your story.
Yeah, well, like I started photography by... so I lived on the Sunshine Coast. That's where I grew up since the year 2000. And the Sunshine Coast had quite a big like house party scene during like high school and stuff. And so I had a party once, and one of my friends who I used to play under 7 soccer with, and I hadn't seen him in like a decade, or just less than that, rocked up to my house with a camera and started like photographing this party. And I was like, oh, that's really weird, but that's kind of cool. And so, it was like good to catch up with him, and we were chatting. And then I had a Canon 550D at the time, and he was like, yeah, like you should come and shoot a party for fun, blah, blah. I'll just like take it along with you. And so he started this business called Save Tonight, which a few people would have heard of, like in terms of like following my work. And so through like 17 years old, blah, 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 through there, we used to just go and photograph house parties. As we would just run around kind of thing. And then was that just doing that for fun? You would just go there for fun? Yeah. Nobody was paying you. You were just literally rocking up with the camera and just... So at the start, it was just like... We were just going to our friends' parties. Like I would go to my best mate's house, and you just take a camera with you, and you just document.
And you kind of document, you're documenting it. Yes.
And then as I said, the house party scene on the Sunshine Coast was really big. So you get these parties where there's like 200-300 people on like a property kind of thing, and they just get out of control.
Wow.
So we started gaining this like bit of a cult following across the coast, and everyone wanted a Save Tonight photographer there. And so we started getting booked and we started getting paid to like go to parties and photograph them, and people would like...
And so you're, at this stage, you're like 17, 18.
Yeah.
So little like entrepreneurs here. You're just like...
Pretty much, yeah. So
I love this. This is amazing.
So that like really kicked off. It started getting really popular. But then as I turned 18 and Jackson turned 18, and we had a few other photographers like Travis Southwell and like a whole bunch, we obviously like we're now allowed to like go out and drink and like go to bars or pubs or shows or whatever. So I kind of went down the live music route, and Jackson went down the club route. So he started getting like nightclubs to hire Save Tonight to photograph them.
Awesome.
Yeah, and so I got into music photography because I had this Save Tonight account. I had like 10,000 followers on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted to go to this Tame Impala concert, and it was sold out. And I was like, how am I going to get into this thing? And so I was like, oh, I heard there's these like music photographers and they get like media passes and stuff. Maybe like I'll apply with Save Tonight and they'll let us in, because we're like a nightlife publication. So maybe
essentially, it's a publication. Yeah. I love this. I love your train of thought. I love how you've thought about this. This is awesome.
So I like emailed the venue, and I think I can't remember who I emailed, but basically I got to the publicist and they were like, yeah, we'll give you a photo pass. So I went in there, never photographed a concert in my life, with this Canon 550D. I can't even, it was probably one of those like twin lens kit lenses that
you get the little 18 to 55 or whatever. It's just like
aperture's like 5.6 or something.
Yeah.
Trying to shoot
definitely how I started. Binary Gaming, welcome to the stream. Thanks for joining us today.
Yeah, and so I shot that show, and I did the first 3 songs in the pit, and I was like blown away. I was like, I need to do this more often. Like that was cool. Like that was one of the best things I've ever done. And so from there, like I put the photos on there and started pushing it, started applying for all these shows. And I think because this was 2012, so it was kind of like before the boom of music photography. Like I definitely wasn't early on, but there was like a boom in like 2014, 2015 where everyone, like there was just many,
literally it felt like it went from nobody to like a million people.
Exactly.
Like literally that's what it felt like. I used to see, especially because I was documenting hip hop, there'd be nobody at the shows. It was just me in Melbourne documenting hip hop, and then it just like completely changed one day. I don't know what happened.
And like so I think that's how like Save Tonight probably got in at the start, because we weren't a music publication. We didn't write news, and we still don't to this day. Like Save Tonight, in my opinion, isn't a music news publication. It's a music photographers like collective. And so like when we go and shoot a show, it's not to sell tickets for the show, it's to highlight. It's got the best photographers in the country highlighting the shows and showing it the best way it can, kind of thing. Like it's about the photos, not about the concert as such. And that's kind of my perspective on it. So so I think that's how we got approved, because I don't think there would have been as many photographers back then trying to get in. These days it just wouldn't work, I don't think. Like a publication 100%. That isn't a music news publication kind of thing.
You probably wouldn't get a run in.
No,
Fido, thank you so much for the you finally catching me. Thanks so much for the host. I super appreciate it. There's so many publications now that it would be and so many photographers. It would be very, like when I first started shooting, I used to just be able to go and shoot for myself. Like that was a thing. Like people didn't even care. There's no chance. And I remember when that stopped being a thing, and I was like, but wait, I've like, look at my folio. I've shot all of these, and they were just like, no, you need to be shooting for, because I'd never done it. I've only done it like a handful of times. So it was very strange for me. To try and like even work out how to shoot for a publication at the start, because I just hadn't gone down that.
Exactly, you already done it so many times in the past. This
is Carl Live. Welcome to the stream as well.
So in like, for example, in 2015, I photographed Splendor in the Grass for a few acts. Like I went there, worked for artists, and I think there was like 15 other artist photographers there. And we all got let in, and like we shot the artist we worked for. But then in 2016, I worked for Splendor officially, and there was 90 something artists that requested photographers, and they were like, we can't let all these photographers in.
We can't let,
And that was like this boom. That's where it boomed, and suddenly, and like everyone was like, I'll go work for this artist who's opening at GW McLennan just so I can go and photograph
then just shoot
the Cure or whoever.
Yes. All of them want to be on stage. Binary Game. You said 100%. I mean, we've seen that. Yeah. What up, Jazz? Like nice to see you here as well. 100%. So, the first festival I ever shot is, I don't know if you know this story, Mitch, but I just tweeted Naughty by Nature when they were coming out for a festival back in 2012.
Yeah.
And so I got to shoot Naughty by Nature, and the same thing is like we just got a photo pass for there. It was for Superfest, like back in the day, big like R&B festival. Yeah. And then you just get a pass and you'd be there all day. Yeah. Like that wouldn't happen now. Like it just there's no way that it's, even if you're shooting for an artist, they're just like, you shoot. Like if I shoot for Rule at a festival, I'm just shooting for Rule, and then which is fine with me actually, because I'm old and I'm very lazy. But there's like. I'm happy just to shoot for Rule and then leave. But there's you're not staying the whole day and shooting, you know. It's like it's a totally different thing now.
Exactly, yeah. Like you might, maybe with like some regional local festivals, you might get away with it. And that's really good because like people out regional, like Sunshine Coast isn't regional, but I always lived an hour and a half each way drive from Brisbane till mid last year. So I drove 3 hours for every single thing I ever photographed. Until, well, like I moved here during COVID, so everything pre-COVID was 3 hour drive. So
that is,
it's good for like
wild.
Yeah, it sucked.
Dedication is what that is.
So like for regional festivals, like there's not as many. You know what I mean? Like people from Brisbane aren't going to drive 3 hours to go to the coast to photograph something. So I guess for people working out like further out, you could maybe get a artist pass and like be able to shoot the whole thing or make a deal with the festival, but like things like Splendor and stuff, no chance. Like
no chance. Yeah, Binary Gaming has said you'll get blacklisted if you do. That's the other thing, you have to be really careful with festivals. Like it's such a great point.
Yeah.
That they've just raised, but that is like you piss off the wrong publicist and forget about it. You just
Did you see that guy who did that Kanye thing? It went viral.
Yeah, did I see it? We did a whole Clubhouse room about it. There's a bunch of us, so a bunch of international music photographers that all know each other. We sometimes do Clubhouse rooms. Isha and Naomi. We did a room about it, talking about just how like preposterous that was. And like how we were speaking specifically as our experience of being women, but I've been pushed, like physically pushed out of the space, like, and I've got a AAA pass and I'm shooting for Rule and I've been literally pushed out of a pit or something. I'm like, there's no way I could get through like all of that. It just would never happen. This is like, there's some people that can walk into spaces and it looks like they belong, and then there's some people that can't. But what was I think I saw your opinion of that. But tell the crew here in terms of what you felt that does for our industry.
Oh, well, it's like definitely detrimental. Like it's there's one thing just doing it, but then there's another thing like bragging about
posting
it online in a social media world where now like, you know what I mean, complex shit. So there's millions of people that now see it.
Yes.
And so there's no reason why 20 people in America especially, there'll be like 50 people at every Kanye show trying to pull this off now, for example. So you may as well just stay no photographers at all now, kind of thing.
Yeah, and I think that's the wider implications, because it's a massive, massive security risk. I can't believe he got as close as he did to Kanye. Yeah. Like I can't believe like Kanye's
like
bodyguards weren't like, what the fuck is he's not. That just blows my mind. But so the security risk, but I just thought the wider implication for the photography community, because it'll just be way stricter for us. It makes it, and it's already so hard for us anyway. The main thing that really annoyed me, and I said this in the room when we were talking about it, was that Complex shared it, and I said, like, I commented under their post because they were like, oh, you know, DM me or whatever, and I was like, this is an issue. Like, publications highlighting this behavior is
Yeah, you're meant to be
So
supporting the music industry, and this is not. It's not
yeah,
a good
this
thing.
is it's not a good thing at all. And
Yeah,
there's so many people working so hard to do the right thing, and then you give the ultimate credit and props to somebody who's broken every single rule, put the artist in danger, put who like
yeah,
we don't know what his, obviously his intentions were clout, but let's say his intentions were something else,
yeah.
and like that's a fucking disaster. Like that's
Exactly. Yeah,
awful.
yeah. And look, like when I was younger, like I did sneaky things. Like they'd be like, you can't go on stage, and you just sneak on, grab a photo.
Yeah,
Blah,
yeah,
blah,
yeah.
blah.
I
And,
think
like
we've all done little
when you're
sneaky
younger and you're
things.
trying to like get that shot, kind of thing, you just do it and you run away, kind of thing. But as the industry's gotten harder and I've gotten older, and you're just like, yeah, like that was, and yeah, as I said, the whole share, like it's just the whole everyone sharing it was like the worst, almost
Yeah,
the
it's
worst
the
part of
clout
it.
thing because you
Yeah,
know that it feels really gross. Like he's literally doing it for himself. And I
yeah,
think music photographers, generally speaking, I mean, there's obviously some clout chasers, but most of us do it because we genuinely love the music and we
yeah,
love the artists that we're working with. Like we have
yeah.
such a passion for what we're documenting. It's not about us, it's actually quite the opposite. So to
Exactly.
see that, I think we were all like, oh, this is gross. This is
Yeah.
like
And like
the intention.
I found his Instagram account and was just looking through, and like he doesn't even shoot like it's not he's not a music photographer like a
No,
lot of the
no.
community is that we're all together and like friends and stuff. Like it's not about it
Yeah.
wasn't about the music or the photography at all. It's about him, as you said. Like it was all about
Binary
him.
Gaming sorry, I said he.
Yeah.
It could be a she. It could be a they. Binary Gaming just said, I don't know about your shows, but shouldn't people getting passes have like a $10 million liability to even get a badge? Like, how do they even get credentials? I'm a he. They go, thank you. Sorry, I didn't want to misgender you. So that's actually a really good point, and I know a lot of it's definitely not a requirement here. No, you don't need public liability insurance. I know a lot of people do have it if they're like, I've got it. I'm assuming
Yeah,
you
I've
do
got it
as
as
a
well,
business owner.
Yeah.
But a lot of the people shooting in music in Australia are just hobbyists or maybe freelancers. They might not have business insurance, so that's definitely not a requirement to get a pass, is it?
I'd say like 90% of the people that are shooting shows aren't even getting paid to do it. They're just, you know what I mean? Like hobby, they just love music and they want to go shoot and they get a publication behind them and off they go. You can't, if you're not getting paid, they might not even have an ABN. So how are you going to get public liability on a non-existent business? You know what I mean? You're just going to a show to take photos. So it'd be tricky if that was like
that's a new thing for Insomniac and other big event companies here in the US since 2014. That's actually a really interesting way about how could you make it more professional. Obviously, there'd be a lot of people upset with that are doing it as a hobby, but those that are doing it either professionally or semi-professionally, it would, I guess, weed out some of the people that are doing it for the wrong reasons. But then I guess you do disadvantage the people that are starting at the very start. Because it's so hard to get the start and the momentum.
And like public like as I said, I've been full time since 2014, and I only got public liability a couple years ago because I had to for a job.
Because you have to. Yeah, that's usually what happens. Like somebody's like, send through your public liability, and you're like, what is that? I better get. I need to buy something. Okay.
Literally.
I mean, you don't need some kid with the camera tripping on pyro. You definitely don't. And we've all seen issues where there's people that are a liability to themselves. So it's very hard in an unregulated industry like ours. That has a lot of people that are not professionals working in it. It's kind of those things, something will happen and then they'll make a new rule. Like it isn't until something like a full disaster that happens, which is not great.
Yeah. And that's a big reason why, like, if you're shooting a show, you just don't photograph your pass. Like, it's just like a rule.
Oh, yes.
Just don't do it because that's how that dude got in. You know what I mean? He didn't see it online. He went and scoped it out and went full blown, like, hunting for it. But, you know what I mean? Like, if you have the pass and you photograph it and you put it on your social media and someone's following you and sees it, like, there's no reason why.
And it's one of those things that I think people used to do it a lot. Until it was kind of cracked down and tour managers and stuff started really cracking down. And until somebody tells you, because it's usually they've seen someone else do it and they're just like, oh, I'm shooting this festival this weekend. They're really excited, but not realizing the implications are that someone can copy that.
Because you don't think that
and
people are going to do that. You think it's just all fine. But, you know what I mean? Like, there's always some
clout chaser on TikTok that's going to make a viral, thing about something. So
yeah.
There's a whole movie about someone doing that at Ultra Music Festival. I remember when that came out. I remember that being a whole Twitter thing. And I think, didn't he get a really great shot of Jay-Z or something on an Ultra Music Festival's EDM? So there's another one. There was a guy that got a really amazing shot of Jay-Z, and he'd like snuck into something as well. There's been a few examples for sure.
I know the Mumford and Sons photographer he works for them now, and he started by sneaking into a festival and photographing them, and they saw his photos and they hired him. But
that's the thing, it happens. It happens.
It's like,
I know.
It's hard.
It's very hard. It's hard because we know how difficult it is. We know how difficult it is to be seen or.
But then, you know what I mean? Like, that guy, he snuck in, he photographed them because he loved them, and then he emailed them directly and sent them the photos. Not just like, hey guys, this is how he didn't share his process of sneaking in and bragging about it.
So we had a photographer. He actually is Bernie Sanders' photographer on his campaign. I've become friends with him on Twitter. Really lovely guy. He came into the chat when we were talking about it, and he was saying, look, I've done shitty things like this in the past. I've even copied passes and stuff. He goes, the difference for me was I was doing it to further my career. I wanted an opportunity. I didn't post about it. I wasn't bragging about it. And I just think there was some validity in that, in terms of, definitely not encouraging this type of behavior at all. But there's obviously things that people have done that have furthered their career, and they haven't had to. It's not about the clout. It's legitimately about thinking outside the box to try and further your career when in an industry that is so competitive and so tricky.
And it's like quite a narrow pathway for a lot of people if you follow the pathway.
It's very, very narrow.
Yeah.
Well, this is the whole reason that, I do this stream. It's the whole reason that I wrote the masterclasses. It's so narrow and it's so tricky, and nobody tells you what to do. Nobody tells you about the past, not to do that. So having something that people can refer to go, hey, don't do this, do this. These are just like the general rules, because there's nobody. Otherwise, you don't find out until you get black banned or somebody tells you off usually. Exactly, I think he said he did it because he missed the application deadline. Okay, he still could have done it without posting it on TikTok. Yeah. Although it's still so wild, because he was so brazen.
Yeah. I think that's...
walking past those security. Oh my god, I could never. I'd be stopped 15 times.
Yeah, and sharing the process to me is I don't know. That's the worst part of it, because it's just promoting that whole behavior kind of thing. Like, if he went and he shot it, he was like, look at these photos I got to Kanye, they're cool, but didn't share all the rest of it. You wouldn't have even questioned it. You would have been like, oh, cool, he got a pass.
I completely agree.
I'd be like, those photos are amazing. He did sick. But instead,
sorry, Matt. What I was talking about, the guy that shoots for Bernie Sanders. Yes, I think he did do that. He said that he'd missed the application deadline, so that was his way of kind of getting into something, and then
okay. Yeah.
Good point, Watto. Thank you. Nice to see you here, by the way. All right, so we're going back to you again. We've talked enough about clout chasers. So you've been shooting for a little while. You're doing bits and pieces on the side. I'd love to know about your transition into full time. And did you just jump, or was it like was it a gradual kind of transition?
It was definitely a premature jump.
It was a premature jump. Same.
It was rough.
I love it. I love it. It's just throw yourself into the deep end.
Yeah, I was just like, all right, I'm doing it. I was like, a month later, I'm like, I shouldn't have done it.
I don't know. I feel like, I don't know. There's a consistency with people that are successful in this business, and most of the time, it involves a bit of a risk.
Yeah.
It involves at some point you just go, I'm all in, and I don't have a fallback, and let's just see what happens.
Yeah. Well, so I was like, I was a marketing manager at a car rental place.
Wow, look at you climbing the corporate ladder.
And it was just like a shitty little local, it was barely marketing. Marketing manager was like me jumping in a car and just driving to hotels and being like, hey, you should have our pamphlets in there. And then I would just like go and play basketball for the other like 3 hours with my mate, who would also take a lunch break at work, and we would just wouldn't work for half of it and just go play basketball. But basically my boss at the time, I had some photos in the Independent Music Awards back in like 2014. They're like on display there. I think maybe Kane Hibbard was like it was like putting them together. And I had a photo
he did
of
the Air Awards.
Yeah.
He used to do that every year. Yeah, he's such a legend. Yeah.
And so I flew down there to go see it because I was like, that was the first time my photos had ever been like in anything, that. And I was like really excited for it. So I flew down there, and I had I used one of my holiday days to go there, like pay days. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I got back, and my boss was like pissed off about it and was like, you can't, like, you need to focus on work rather than photography, blah blah, like work comes before that. And I was like, I can do whatever I want on my holiday days, you know what I mean? Like, you can't tell me what I can and can't do. Anyways, we were like having an argument, and he like basically put me in a position. He's like, you have to pick us or pick photography. And so I like just like quit on the day. I was like, I'm out, like, see you later, and just walked out and never went back.
This is the best story I've ever heard. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
So that was my last day of work ever at another business.
I love that. I mean, it's actually, it's kind of similar to my story, a little bit, but I also think there's something in when let's just say you quit, or you are put in a position where you're just like, well, I've got to make this work now. Mm-hmm. There's something about that. I mean, it has to. Like, I was in a position where if this has to work. And when you're in that position and in that mindset, you put everything into it. Like, absolutely every spare minute of the day. For me, it was photography, like taking photos of people in the music industry and people knowing who I was. It was every inch, like waking inch. And like, it's kind of like what you need to do. If you have another full-time job specifically, I think part-time you can definitely make it work, but full-time, it takes up so much of your time. So it's going to be very hard to transition. Yeah. What up, Bill? Nice to see you here.
So I quit that, and then I
start over.
I was scraping by, and then
I love it.
Scrape by. I had to move back home. I moved back in with my mum. I had an old Jaguar car and a motorbike, and I had to sell both of them. I sold my record collection. I just sold everything I owned, and all I had was
There's a lot of sacrifice there. There's a lot of selling everything. I mean, moving back with your parents. A lot of people would just be like, "No way. There's I'm not doing it." Yeah. I mean, it's not ideal. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. Well, I'm just.
But again, you're in.
If my parent, like, I'm lucky. My mum would be like, if I was like 60 and had nowhere to live, she'd be like, "Come on back." You know what I mean? Like, she'll always support me. So luckily she had my back and wasn't like, go get another job. What do you talk, like, you know what I mean? My parents were just like everyone else's parents, saying, you can't make this a career. Like, what are you doing? Go back to uni, because I dropped out of uni to do like photography. And like, I just like changed everything and was like, this is what I'm doing. And that's the decision. It's final and it's going to happen, kind of thing. And so like, as I said, I sold everything. All I had was my Canon 550D and was like, all right, let's try and pull this off.
I love that so much. That's just, that's awesome. I think that, let me just go back to one of these comments, because I feel like, Binary Gaming was saying that they had the Canon T3i and a kit lens, and then bought an EOS 300 later on. So a lot of us started out with I had a little Nikon D5000 with a little kit lens. That was my little baby for ages. Just whatever you need to do to get the job done.
They did the job. Like, they weren't even bad. Like, I've got some of my, like, I photographed Guns N' Roses with my 550D, and like, I think one of those photos is still on my website. I still love it. I was
I love that.
Yeah, like, they're not.
Well, and also too, if you have the gear that's, you know, let's just say not as great, it makes you be a better photographer, because you've got to find the workarounds. Like, how do I make this work? And that's really important when you first start out, I think.
Like you can't, like for me, I've gotten a bit like comfortable and complacent at times, and you're just like,
Oh my god.
oh, this is my 100th show of the year, like off I go again, kind of thing. Like,
yeah,
and you still love it and enjoy it, but you're just like, off I go. But with the camera, that's like,
and also with like mostly great lighting. That's the thing that we forget.
Yeah.
Like a lot of the bigger shows we shoot now, honestly, they're very easy to shoot.
Yeah.
Other than like getting the moments, but from a lighting perspective, they're
you
easy
can't really go
comparatively to those shitty venues that we used to shoot at the start, which is like are really challenging. You have to push every single aspect of your camera. But it teaches you. It teaches you what your camera is capable of, what you're, how you're able to push it.
Yeah.
In what way to get decent results,
Exactly, yeah. And then when you do upgrade your gear in the end, you're like already on top of it kind of thing. Like, and then you get, because you understand a camera so much more, you suddenly know how to use the extra technology you now have. Rather than imagine like someone who's like started on a 1DX and then had to go back to something because of whatever. They'd be in like a bit of trouble trying to figure it out. Like, why doesn't his lens go to 1.4? Like, you know what I mean? You'd be like, yeah.
What up, MLG? Nice to see you here. Thanks for joining us. We're just talking about photography, all things music photography, and Mitch's career so far, which has been really lovely to chat through. And so, okay, so you've sold everything. You're at your parents' again, or your mum's, and how long do you think it really took for things to for you to feel, I mean, we never feel comfortable, but like relatively comfortable?
Relatively comfortable?
Yeah.
I reckon, so I quit my job in 2014, and I don't reckon, I think 2019 was when I was like stoked.
Same. 2019. Can I tell you, 2019 was the best year.
Yeah.
2018 and 2019, not only financially, but just like experience-wise and what I was shooting. And then just on a high, just like I am doing exactly what I've worked 10 years for. This is amazing. And then fucking COVID hit.
Yeah. Literally. So like financially 2019 was when I was like, I'm making like a full-time wage, like I'm, you know what I mean, like I'm comfortable there. And then and then like in terms of like doing full-time like hours, but like actual work, not just you trying to build your own career up, probably 2018 maybe kind of thing. So like the money started to come with it. But
thank you, Kenzie. Thanks for the subby.
It's a very big
slog, sorry.
But...
Yeah, totally. And I guess the slog is it's never really over. It just sometimes changes, I think. It's not that desperation claw slog. It's like a different it's like a different slog. It's like it's a different vibe. But how have you transitioned? So you haven't been able to shoot music photography in the last couple of 18 months or so. What's kept your business afloat in recent times? And I guess, were you shooting that on and off as well? Were you doing other stuff? Were you doing weddings? Were you doing commercial stuff? And in terms of COVID, getting through that part, I never really photographed food at all, really. That's probably the new thing that's come in to my business that has kept me going, kind of thing, as well as just having a lot of I just have a few really good clients that have kept me going, and they've been able to keep going, kind of thing, in terms of commercial work. So that's kind of kept me afloat, and I think just purely being in Queensland's been really lucky. I think being in Queensland, we've been going for, I'd say we've been in lockdown in total, minus the start of last year when it all started, maybe 2 weeks maximum. 3 weeks maybe maximum. Can't relate.
In total. So
can't relate.
I know. So we've been really lucky. So a lot of the time, there's been no shows, but there's been other work that I've been able to do. Yeah.
It's so interesting because I feel, I mean, everyone knows Melbourne's been in the most amount of lockdown. Sydney is a little bit like, hold my beer. They're on, we'll see how that goes. But, like streaming for me was the thing that, I wasn't able to shoot at all last year. I shot I shot a bunch of stuff for Rule in June of last year, which is a 6-week period of shoot. It was for the rest of the year. But other than that, basically didn't shoot for 7 or 8 months. And thank God for this stream and this lovely Twitch community who are all here today and listening to you talk.
Yeah. But as you said, the people that seem to be people that are really succeeding in photography and stuff, will find a way, you know what I mean? No matter what. You could have just bowed down and been oh well, I'm screwed, I'm just gonna have to try and get a job, but instead you found a new way to keep yourself afloat and keep going.
I would rather run over my own head with a tractor than go back doing
literally
9 to 5. There's no way that I would go back to a normal job. It's tricky to say now because I've been doing photography for so long, and I feel you would always be able to find something to do in that field.
Yeah.
But there's that having those parameters of when you're meant to work, 9 to 5 isn't that bad. What up, Benny? I guess for me personally and my personality and what I really enjoy, I don't like being somewhere at 9 o'clock. So
yeah.
You made it, Benny. Benny's made it to 12 months. 12 months subby. Lovely to have you here for 1 year, Benny. Thank you so much. But yeah, it's just not, and I don't know if you feel the same way, but I love the freedom of being able to set my own schedule and just work to my own pace, which is a ridiculously high pace anyway, but that's my own. I can only drive myself,
Yeah. And it's all up to you kind of thing, and you work for you. Yeah.
Well,
sometimes you get overwhelmed or you really busy, and sometimes I'm just God, I just wish I had a job at Officeworks and I could just sell pencils. Yeah. Let's do it.
Totally.
But then imagine doing that. Oh my
God. Well, that's what happened when we went into the lockdown last year, and I was so anxious, and I just used my anxiety to fuel this stream. What up, Fido? Thank you so much for the subby. We've got a hype train, guys. A hype train incoming. Let's go. We haven't had a hype train in ages. You guys are bringing the hype today. I love it. Almost level 2. Let's go. But yeah, it fueled, doing something different and setting up obviously this stream and stuff. And it took so many hours when I first started. It was Binary Gaming, subscribe with Prime as well. Thank you so much. We're so close to the hype train, guys. Level 2 hype train. I would never have done this without having so many extra. I mean, there's just no way. It just takes up so much time, especially at the beginning when you first start setting up a stream. It's crazy. The amount of hours.
I started when COVID hit. Obviously, everyone stopped working basically. So
there was a lot of spare time March for people.
I started I designed. I don't know if you remember that ASAP Rocky shirt I did. I started I started doing shirts, which I've only done one, but I do.
Oh, we got the hype. We got the hype train. Good job, fam. Well done, Ash. Thank you so much for you gifted a sub to Jazz. I super appreciate it. I accidentally found you browsing talk shows. That's so funny that you say that, Binary Gaming. This is, I think, the second time I've put... usually I go into just chatting, but I was maybe I'll just go into talk shows and podcasts today. So I'm glad that we found you and you found us. It's nice to have you here. Also, the other thing I should tell you is to join our Discord. We have a lovely photography community over there. Discord. And we also have the photography team. Yay! All of the things. I've got the commands going now. It's just wild. I just did. Awesome. I'd love to hear. I'm going to show some of your wedding work as well.
Go for it.
Do you enjoy shooting weddings?
Do you want my honest opinion or?
Yeah, I do. No, I do. I think it's important to, because it's so people that don't know, weddings commercially are great. You can earn a lot. I started shooting weddings. You can earn a lot of money shooting weddings.
Definitely.
It's the opposite of music photography.
Yeah,
So.
literally. So I shot a lot of weddings back in the day. So I got hired by a wedding studio called Avenue Studio that's Brisbane based, and they were amazing. And they basically took me on purely from my music photos. I'd shot one wedding before,
that.
and they were like, "Yeah, we'll give you a go. Like, you'll be a second shooter. Like, you're not going to shoot your own weddings, but you'll be with someone, and we'll see how it goes."
Cool.
And it was definitely one of the best things I've done. I learn a lot. It's changed the way I photograph things now. Like, I think like the guy who owns Avenue Studio, Andy, he said to me once, and like I'll never forget it because it's so true. He's like, wedding photography is like the ultimate test because it's like it's portrait photography, it's product photography, it's event photography, it's landscape photography, it's like it's all these like different photography skills or genres, whatever you want to call them, all in one day. That's one of the most important days.
Photojournalism.
Exactly, yeah.
It's like you don't have, and also the skills that you get doing weddings are so transferable to pretty much anything else. Because I started doing weddings as well when I first started, and it easily transfers over to music photography, especially live music. Like this, the lack of control over most of the situation. Obviously, you have time for portraits and stuff, but mostly it's you're documenting what's in front of you and off you go, sort of thing.
Yeah. So I was really lucky. I got a chance with them, and I shot with them for a few years. But I got to I was doing like 30 to 40 weddings a year, and it kind of, because I loved shooting music so much, and weddings are always on a weekend, and I started to get offered tours and stuff. I was like, I can't, like I've got to pick one kind of thing.
That's why I stopped as well.
Yeah, and I didn't want to like let down. Like luckily I was at the studio, so I could be like, look, I can't do that wedding. And I made it very clear with them. I was like, music comes first for me. Like if I get offered an amazing opportunity, I do need to take it. And they're like, yeah, we get it. As long as someone can take your wedding, like that's fine. And that always worked out. But then it just got to a point where I had to say, look, I'm out. Like I'm gonna move on. Thanks for everything. And and I've still shot a few weddings for myself since, but I don't do them as much anymore. I like before the wedding, I'm always like, oh, I don't want to do this, but then I'm shooting the wedding and I enjoy it. But the hype up, the days coming up to it, I'm like, oh, what have I done? I've done it again.
And then I get to the editing and I'm like, what? Oh God, why did I say yes to this? The editing's such a bitch. But I actually really love the day. I think it's a really,
generally
I always have great fun.
Most of the people are pretty like happy and excited.
Yeah, it's the best day of their life. It's a great event to shoot. Binary Gaming said, weddings are terrifying. At least over here, had a friend who almost lost his business because of Bridezilla suing, claiming they didn't capture her good side and ruin her day.
Wow.
Luckily, the judge looked at the photos and ruled in his favour, luckily. I've heard of a few cases like that. I've never heard of a couple winning any of those cases. They always rule for the photographer in those cases, which is good. Obviously, we're not quite as litigious here in Australia. We don't, not as many suing cases here usually.
God, that'd be so stressful to go through as a photographer.
So I know some people that have gone through some similar stuff, and it's always gone in the photographer's favor, but it is very stressful. Even those people that they're just upset about something and they start doing the bad Google reviews or whatever. That's always really awful as well. Level 2 hype train. The emotes have arrived. That was very late on the. Let me share those emotes. There we go. I'd love to talk to you about your. Let's have a look at your. Because the other thing you do, obviously, you do live music, but you do press shots and portraiture and stuff as well. Do you have a preference, or do you like them?
It depends on the day. Portraits, I'm loving at the moment. I've always wanted to do them, and I never really had the chance. And then just some, I like had a few opportunities and like of like local artists on the Sunshine Coast, and I like photographed them, and they were they were really kind and kind of wanted me to just like do my own thing. They were like, this is generally what I would like, but like go nuts kind of thing. So I was lucky to build up a bit of a style and like figure out what I like to do with my portraits. And it's been really good. I've like gotten quite a few lately, and it's been fun.
Awesome. And I'm obsessed with the stuff that you've done with Jared James, mainly because I'm obsessed with him.
He's lovely.
as an artist. He's my favorite. He
He's amazing.
really is. He is amazing. It was actually lovely to bump into you when I bumped into him.
Yeah.
At Big Pineapple, which was really cool.
Yeah.
But I guess how do you describe your creative process when you're working with people? Do you tend to kind of micromanage and pose people, or do you tend to just kind of leave them to their own will and snap away? What's your process?
So I think it's a bit of both. I think like obviously lighting's the most important thing. So like you put, like for me, I put someone in this spot, like the perfect spot, and then from there, like you just make them comfortable, and then the natural and the real stuff comes out of that kind of thing. Because if you pose people too much, then they start to feel uncomfortable. But if you don't pose them enough, or if you don't put them in the right spot or give them some direction, then it's the exact same thing. They're quite like uncomfortable and awkward, and it can almost look maybe a bit unprofessional because they're like, this girl doesn't, like, this person doesn't know what they want to,
doesn't do what they're doing, know what they're doing. Yeah.
So
yeah, that's such a good point.
But
yeah, it's like mostly, a fine line.
Yeah. And I learnt that again in weddings. Like, you put the bride, put the groom, like, in the perfect spot, and then just, you know what I mean? Give them some basic direction and just let them feel the way they're feeling, and you document that feeling kind of thing.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
Do you have any kind of bucket list artists that you'd love to work with?
Bucket list artists. Like, I would love to photograph Rage Against the Machine. That would be an absolute dream.
Oh, hell
that
yeah.
Would be a
have
dream,
you seen them?
yeah.
Have you seen them live before?
No, I wish.
I saw them in gonna age myself. I can't remember what year. 2003 or something.
Yeah.
And Big Day Out.
Yeah,
one
true.
festival, and I remember there was like people hanging from the trees. There was people like climbing fences. It was fucking crazy. It was so good.
Did you ever photograph
right up
Big
the back
Day
too? No, I didn't. So I didn't start shooting until 2011, and wait, I lie. I did shoot. I shot 4 Childish Gambino.
Oh, sick.
I completely forgot about
Would
this.
have been the last
2012.
One,
yeah, I think it was one of the last ones. So I shot for Seth Century and Childish Gambino, I think the same year, at Big Day Out. And it was like in one of the... Kenzie just said that was the year she was born. Nobody's allowed to talk like that in this chat. So...
was that the one with
Kenzie,
Red Hot Chili Peppers? That Big Day Out?
Maybe. I think like Kanye was there. I don't know. I've got blurred memory. My memories are all of like when I was there as a just as a punter, and then when I was there shooting. So I literally can't remember. I feel like Kanye was around then, but it was very, very much towards the end of Big Day Out. So I think I just shot that one, and then that was it.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, I remember the backstage area being really cool though. There was like a big like hangout kind of area. It's not Splendor one. I think is kind of like superior, but it's lots of fun.
I was talking the other day to Zen just about a sound wave I went to and how much I wish I could have photographed it.
What year was it?
It was like in the one day I went and saw, like I saw Gallows, but then I saw Sum 41, Billy Talent, Cypress Hill, Garbage, Paramore, Blink-182, Offspring, and Metallica all in a row. I was like, imagine photographing all them in one day. Or even just one.
I went to a sound wave that was like, I just remember System of a Down because that's why I went.
Yeah.
System of a Down, which was the second time that I've seen them, and they're just like the best band in the world. And I think Marilyn Manson was there, and anyway, there was a bunch of, it was like you said, it would have been crazy to shoot. And I think I just picked up a camera back then, so
I shot one
wild.
sound wave. That's the only and one Future Music Festival. That was kind of the only two I ever got of like one of those.
Of one of those really big.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, those were the days. Hey, festivals. Yeah. God, really think.
God.
Have you been watching? I mean, I know you would have been, but watching Rolling Loud over the weekend.
I've been seeing all the
everybody's
all the socials posts and stuff. Yeah, everybody.
Greg, Beth. Yeah. Miranda, Like everybody.
Yeah, and then Lollapalooza's on the other side, isn't it?
Lollapalooza,
Like,
yes, Lollapalooza's on now.
killing me.
I just can't believe. I don't know. I just can't believe I'm seeing that many people without any masks. Is making it. It makes me very uncomfortable. I'm just like I guess we're so far from.
Yeah, especially when they felt like they were so far behind, like they were having like hundreds of thousands of cases a day, or
and
something.
We were having no cases of COVID at all, like
happened?
almost eradicated. I know, just oh god, I can't even think about it because it just gets me so angry. Photo said, so it sucked so bad here. I think they were just having an off day. So apparently, according to Armin, who actually has been on this show, and he is a massive Sode fan. He said that the show that I saw is known in the system community as the best show that they ever performed. It was his Big Day Out in Australia. So I feel quite lucky to.
Was that like early 2000s?
I think it was 2011, 2000 and.
Right.
I don't know.
So a bit later on for them, kind of thing.
Before people in this chat were born, that's all I know. So. Chloe said you guys keep talking about festivals, just wondering what that is. Yeah, well,
there's people that are like 20 that have never been to like a nightclub properly, kind of thing, at this point.
That's true.
Well, they were 19, yeah. That's crazy.
19, yeah. And so how are you feeling? Are you feeling positive about the future? What's your general vibe at the moment?
My general vibe is just, I have no idea. Like, I was positive about it, and now we're like, our lockdown just got extended, and it's like, I don't even know now.
Yes.
Like, are we about to, like, is it just going to taper off now, or are we about to become in New South Wales and just go nuts? Because we're doing the same thing as what New South Wales did, numbers-wise.
Yeah. Do you think I feel like your lockdown is a bit harder than they went, though?
Yeah.
They tried to do the lockdown light kind of thing, and it didn't really work.
Ours is the heaviest one we've had. And everyone,
that's good.
Like, obviously I don't live in Sydney, so I can't see, and maybe it's just like a media kind of thing, but it just seems like no one's really taking it as serious in New South Wales as what they have done in Queensland. Like, every time there's been a lockdown here, it's like people, like,
they've taken it seriously.
Everyone takes it pretty serious, the majority, and like most people are wearing a mask, and like it feels like everyone's doing the right thing the majority of the time. Like, admittedly, the people above me had a party the day that the lockdown happened and the cops came, and then we saw it in the news that they all got fined. But besides that, everyone seemed to be doing the right thing.
Yeah, look, everything that you've said, I can relate to. That I think I'm just kind of numb now. Like, I'm just not really, like, I won't let my hopes get up for anything because they've just been dashed so many times. So it just, I'm kind of like, if something really great happens, that's going to be a bonus. Otherwise, I'm just on this. Anna, thank you so much for the 16-month subby. I super appreciate that. Someone just mentioned somebody dropping their phone in a porta potty at a festival. So that's, I mean, we don't miss those
It's not
days.
recommended.
Definitely not recommended. Yeah. Kenzie asked our thoughts on Splendor this year.
Like, whether it's going to happen or not?
I'm assuming that's what she means. I'm assuming she's been... nice to have you here, Anna.
I'd be highly doubtful if it did happen. I hope it does, but I don't see how... Like, that's only in a couple months, so I just don't see how we could go from that to that. I think it'll happen next... Like, I think from what they're trying to do with the whole vaccines and trying to get to the 80% and stuff, it looks like they're going to hit that, if all goes well, by December. So, like...
Yes.
Realistically, then hopefully, you know what I mean, by July next year, it'll be looking like, all right, we can start bringing people in from overseas, and maybe it'd happen then. But if they can't even get the vaccines done,
I'm just
November,
watching other. I mean, I don't want to bring the mood down, but I'm watching other countries around the world who've done that, and they're getting huge spikes in cases, possibly going back into lockdowns and stuff. And I can't get my head around that, because that's what I'm looking at that as well. I'm looking at, all right, they've said 70%, like that's our hope.
Yeah.
But then, you know, they're talking about in America now, potentially, some places,
Yeah.
maybe going into lockdown. I don't know.
Yeah.
It just makes me feel sick, and I'm trying not to think about it.
Yeah. I'm like 90% certain it's just not going to happen. What they're saying now, November.
Yes,
Hopefully
in November,
July.
yeah.
Hopefully, like. But even then, like, who knows if it's even going to be the quality that it's ever been, like, in terms of the size of artists, because of the money, like all the financial hits that everyone's taken. Maybe Splendor, well, it'll take a decade to get back to where it was. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know how all that side of everything works, but I don't see. Like, I guess there's two ways they could go about it. They just can only afford so much and they have to build it up, or they just go, all right, let's just take a risk and go hard, and hopefully everyone goes, and we make money. Like, who knows? And then if it goes back into lockdown, well, then consider it done.
I know. I'm looking there's a massive spike after Rolling Loud. I've been following a few people on social media that are kind of following it pretty closely, and then obviously Lollapalooza was just on the weekend. I think if there's huge spikes after both those events, that's not going to be good for music festivals anywhere, like worldwide. Like, everyone would be looking at that at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is, though, you look at them and you go, there's no COVID safety here.
Yeah.
You know, when we've been doing the festival, like the one we were at, Big Pineapple, for example, there's so many restrictions in place about people in spaces, entrance points, exits points, where, you know, flow, all different, how many times you've got to check in, masks, all of these things.
Exactly, yeah.
And then I looked at like Rolling Loud and Lollapalooza, I'm just like, there's like 100,000 people jammed like sardines.
Exactly, yeah. And like Big Pineapple, nothing came of it. Like, it worked. And it, like,
I mean, also, we had no COVID in the state at all, versus they're in Florida, and it's like, I mean, I don't even know how many cases a day. Like, I don't know, probably 50,000 cases a day still. So it's like, that's why it's frustrating that we can't get our shit together, because it's like, we could be doing this, guys.
We were there. We've already been there.
10,000 hospitalizations yesterday in Florida. Mm-hmm. What?
That's ridiculous. It's big numbers.
Jeff Anderson's here. What up, legend? Lollapalooza crowd photos made me think I feel like I had flu symptoms just by looking at them. I definitely had a large amount of anxiety looking at the photos, that's for sure. And there was, you know,
I saw a post that someone put up. I've got no idea who it was. But it's just like a big crowd shot, but like from above. And
I think Chloe shared that photo. And
it was just a caption that was like, "I'm just standing next to the dude in the white shirt. How can you not see me?"
How can you not see me? I know Chloe shared that, and she said that she missed that feeling of just being lost in a crowd trying to find your mate. So where are you?
Dude in the white shirt.
Oh, I know. Look, all right, do we have any last questions for Mitch? We've had him for an hour now. It's been such a lovely chat. I'm just looking through some of your awesome portraits, but if you've got any last questions, please let us know. Before cell phones, everyone took walkie-talkies. I can't even remember. I mean, there definitely was a time that I was going to things without cell phone. I just can't even remember how I used to meet people.
Have you ever been through your old photos and like from festivals and noticed the amount of phones that like if you, I looked at the first listen out I photographed to the most recent one, and it's just like drastically different. It's all hands, the first one, and now it's just all phones. It's like
all phones.
Actually noticeably different, the culture of like social media.
I never know what people do with those photographs or videos either, because they're not great. They're just
you just fill up that hard drive, so you have to buy a new phone that costs you more money. Because now you need the 256 gig one now.
Oh my god. Binary Gaming said, I mean, to be fair, cell phones don't work at festivals anyway. That's true. That is never find. That is very true.
And all the crew have radios, walkie-talkies. Like, they know what's going on.
Yeah. Jeff just asked, I've missed a lot, but has Mitch talked about the more moody vibe he's been working on lately and what changes he's seen in his work? What a great question. Let's talk about that. You haven't spoke about why the vibe's gone a bit moody, and or what techniques he's loving a lot as well. So let's touch on that.
I think the reason it's like gone moodier is because because a lot of my earlier work was working for festivals, so I would just edit like you know what I mean? Like, because when you work for a festival, you're working you're working for a business, so like you've got to like your photos need to be in their best interest in terms of the way they look and stuff. But as I've worked more and more with just artists independently, most of them have hired me because I do I'm trying to aim to do a certain style and stuff, and it is like a lot darker. So I've had that opportunity to like work on that and display that side of like the way I want to show my work kind of thing, like how I want my portfolio to look. And then like because of that, I can now go back and look at my old photos, and I have the time to like turn them into how I would want them to look rather than how I thought the festival would want them to look, kind of thing.
Totally.
So that's why it's like changed slightly in the way I've been posting, because it's just like a more honest portfolio kind of thing. Like before it was just showing the work I've done for people. Now it's posting photos I've done for people in my style kind of thing.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And you said, interesting, would you say that labels are more into different and creative looks instead of just white flash? That's always the standard.
I think a bit of both. Like a lot of the ones I do, you need those safe shots, because a lot of, like you take portraits and some
I'd
of them...
agree with that.
Some of them, it's like the plan is for that person to be cut out of that for graphic design purposes. So you do need that
it's like
clean
it's just
stuff.
like the concept. I mean, for me, it's always like there's that. It's always in there. That's the
exactly.
And you start with it's the warm up one or whatever, and then you move into the creative and whatever moody stuff later on.
Exactly, and it's
because when you see how they're used, you're like, okay, I get it. It is more transferable for like posters or whatever.
Yeah.
Or whatever they're doing versus more conceptual or whatever.
Because as soon as the concept's
stuff.
been put into it, it can only be used so many different ways, kind of thing. Like you you have your photos, like your main ones, you can use them as a tour poster or something. But as soon as it's like a festival wants to use one or something that's not your own identity, like your part of a bigger identity, you need to be able to have.
Or the festival wants to keep stuff really consistent, so you've got to have that. Yeah, we always get, with Rule, it's always like they want that. It's just a basic sort of shot they can use for something.
Yeah. And that goes
this
back
Graham
to
Ritchie shot is amazing, by the way, with the clouds. I really like it.
Yeah, I like that a lot. Yeah, that dude's lovely. But
Very
that goes back to what I was saying before, like when you shoot for a festival, like you need to take into account what they want, because they're a brand and a business, and you're identifying that, like you're portraying their identity kind of thing. So that's why you've got to cover your bases with the portraits, and you have the artist's identity in mind, but then you also, as you said, need those safe ones to cover the bases for everyone else that will use them.
Oh, they put their own grade on it. Yeah, love that, Jeff. That's always a vibe.
Love that.
That's
the
fucking worst. That's all of our favourites. Bill asked, what's your dream event to photograph? Or bucket list of I could die happy after this event?
Like I always see photos from Burning Man, and that just looks pretty cool. It looks pretty... Doesn't it? Pretty epic.
Apart from all the hippies, yes, it looks amazing.
Yeah. Like... Yeah, damn hippies. that would be really cool. I don't know. That's a good question. Like there's lots of festivals like Coachella and stuff, and it's like, I'd love to photograph them, but it's not the festival; it's the artists. Like it's not necessarily like I don't want to go to Coachella because it's Coachella. I want to go to Coachella because Rage Against the Machine's headlining. Like that's why I want to go there. Yeah. Where that's why Burning Man's pretty cool. Like even like Dark Mofo down in Tassie and stuff. You know what I mean? Like when they got a bit of an identity, they're kind of the one. Like I would love to go and shoot something with a bit of that in it, kind of thing. So that's why Burning Man.
A lot of people are saying don't go to Burning Man.
I've heard it's not. Yeah.
The silt will go through your weather seals. Apparently.
True.
There you go. Not recommended.
No.
Ash is saying do it. Ash is saying absolutely do it. We have just for the fun.
Honestly,
you could do it. Just go with your phone and take photos on your phone. I mean, I've seen amazing photos from Burning Man. They does look amazing. Ash is a bad influence. Just say no.
I've killed 270 to 200s from rain because I am a just go do it person. And it's bad. But
What up, Aussie Obsessions? I see you in the chat as well. Just do it, but take an old camera and never take a lens off. There you go.
well, that's what I could do.
Duct tape all the seals.
I've got a Mamiya RB67, and it's like no electronics in it.
Same.
And so that would be cool to take there, because then you can just pull it apart, clean it up, and it's not really going to be too bad on it.
True. Is yours massive though? Mine's enormous.
Mine is huge.
And heavy. It's really heavy.
Okay,
but I love it.
So big.
Yeah. I wish I had mine up here to show. We'll get Mitch's. Yeah.
It's as big as my head.
That's literally the same. I don't know if you've seen mine. I've got the limited edition snake print.
That's cool. Hey, have you seen the fish eyes for them?
I haven't, but Jade, who's not in the chat today, she is my enabler. She's the one that found that for me. It's a Mamiya Bill, the RB67.
Do you want me? Give me one sec. I'm going to grab that fisheye because it'll blow your mind.
Cool.
It is so big, and I'll get my regular one. It's like drastic.
Jade's always trying to find stuff for my Mamiya as well. It's wild. Ever see the Petapixel article about borrowed lens cleaning rental company? I did not see that. I don't know that they'll cover lenses that are... Oh, I see. So people are renting stuff and then they're like trying to take them back and they're fucked.
So...
Show us.
It's ridiculous. So this is a regular Canon one.
Yep.
And this is the Mamiya.
Wow. Look at that baby.
It's so heavy. It's
oh
stupid.
my God. That's amazing though. Have you shot much stuff on the fisheye with the Mamiya?
I only got it just before COVID, so I haven't really... I've shot once with it, and it was amazing.
Yep.
It took me years to find it. It took me forever. I've always wanted it. And then this old guy in Melbourne, he was like, in his 80s, was selling his whole photography studio, and he bought this and never even used it. He just bought it and had it sitting there.
I was going to say, it looked brand new.
I was so stoked.
Like in such...
Yeah.
I love, oh God, finding those people.
I know.
You know what they say, big Mamiya, big fisheye.
Not wrong.
I've started shooting a lot with the Mamiya, like pretty much every shoot now I'll do some stuff. And I'm just like, I'm obsessed with it. Like I showed one of the shoots I did on stream. And I was like, I don't want to shoot digital anymore.
Yeah.
I was just loving everything. Like
so
nothing's been released yet, so I haven't posted anything. But
yeah,
hopefully at some point, some artists that I've shot with in the last 8 months will release something, so I can, I can share.
That'd be nice.
I mean, it would be great because with a filter over it. Actually, one of the artists, she sent me a mock-up of they'd used one of the medium format shots for the cover of a single. Yeah. And the designer had like completely changed like the colors and background and stuff. And she was like, what do you think? And I'm like, look, I really don't like to have opinions with design stuff. Usually I'm pretty cool with it. But I was like, abso-fucking-lutely not. Like not on this photo.
Yeah.
Not with it. We're using medium format 120. Like no.
Yeah, exactly.
I was just like, I can't allow it. It's just not.
I won't stand for this.
But she was like, oh, actually, thank God you said that because I didn't know how to. She didn't like it. She was like, I'm actually glad you said that because I didn't know how to say it to him, so she could say that it was me.
Yeah.
Like, no, this is perfect the way that it is.
How do you I find I struggle. So when I do a portrait shoot, obviously it's like mainly digital, and I've always found it really hard to find the time to use film. Like I'm always on a roll and just doing it, and then I'll move on to the next look, and I completely forget to even bring it out and factor in the time. Have you had that problem as well, or like?
So what I started doing was actually getting, and this is why I use Jade a lot because she's an assistant that I use specifically for my film shooting, and she knows my cameras. She really helps remind me, hey, and she'll literally throw the cameras at me and be like, with this, and so it just centers me in that moment to say, okay, I've got to get a couple of shots with the film. What up, Randy? Thank you so much for the subby, 7-month subby. I love it. Thank you. But yeah, so she's really great. She's great to suggest different film stocks in different because she's been shooting film for so long. She really you've been lurking for an hour. I appreciate it. Yeah, she's really great. She's like, oh, you should try this. And so I love having her on set as much as possible now when I'm shooting film stuff. Which is something I never used to really like having assistants that much, to be honest. But I really like working with her and specifically when I'm shooting film. It really helps me. Yeah. So that's a tip.
Yeah, no, that's handy because I guess like having assistants when you're shooting digital is like great and all when they know lighting and stuff, and they can help you out and they kind of know what you want to achieve without you having to explain it, kind of thing.
That's hard to get to that point, isn't it?
Yeah, but then to have
I haven't found anyone that's got to that point.
Yeah, but then to have someone that knows how to like load film into this without.
Yes, that's what she does. She loads. She's just she's really great. It's hard not to repeat yourself with the film. It's true. I've often found that depending on the shoot though, and every time that we've got we've always run with the film shots because they're just so. There's something about them. They're just magical, So it's almost like I'm starting to the digital's kind of. The backup now, and I'm trying to shoot. Yeah, the safe. Yeah. Trying to shoot as much film as possible. Yeah. B. Connolly, welcome to the stream. Nice to see you here. Thank you. Thanks for your hello. Thanks for your presence. If it wasn't for my mortgage, I want to go the same route as Mitch and make the ultimate decision: buy an RV and travel shooting. I'm here for it, Fido. I think you let's. Yeah, let's. We're supporting. We're supporting the dream.
Me and Zen my sister is. We want to do that too.
Yeah, Bill's done that. He's also in the chat. He's got an RV. Let's all do it. Let's go.
Let's just do it. Just convoy.
Jade's really good at that as well. She's just a good presence to have. You've got to find the person that's like just a good presence on set, and that's what I struggled with for a long time, was just getting the balance right. And I'm just easily thrown by different energies, so if it's the wrong person, it's just not good for me. It's not good for my headspace. So,
yeah.
CG Viewer, nice to see you here as well. Everyone's joined the chat today. This is fabulous. Once my kids are out of high school, my son wouldn't be happy leaving his high school girl behind. Oh, how old is she? How old is he? He might be old enough just to leave soon, just to be like, bye. I'm going now.
See ya.
He's 15. Look, you've got a couple of years. Maybe don't leave him at 15.
Not recommended.
Having a femme presence is golden as well. We just did a shoot, which is actually the shoot that I was talking about, Jeff, where we basically shot the whole thing. The whole set was women, which is kind of unusual. I don't generally shoot with all women, and it was really lovely. It was actually it was really nice, and the shoot went really well. So
yeah. I normally use Zen as my assistant. She's great. She knows her way around lighting and stuff. And then
when you've got an amazing girlfriend,
it's easier than that. Yeah, and then vice versa. I assist her on most of her shoots, and yeah.
Oh, what a partnership! That's so good. I love that. Anna said energy is so important. One of my big things I make sure is good when I'm shooting. Yeah, Anna, I think because I don't know, just for the last couple of years trying out different people as assistants and stuff. I often just got frustrated because, like I said, I'm just hypersensitive to if the energy's a little bit off or they just, I don't know. It can be really tricky. So it just took me a long time. But I'm stoked with Jade. She's amazing.
That's your cat in the background right now.
That's my dog. That's Calvin.
Oh, dog.
Yeah, he's digging. He's heard his name, so he was trying to dig a little spot in the pillow.
Yeah. That's what Zen's cat used to do. That's why I thought it was a cat.
Yeah. That Calvin said, Jetta's on my lap. She's always here. So hello. She's
Should I get Frank out one more time?
Yes. Can you please? A lot of people missed Frank at the start, so I think you should get Frank now. Yes. Jetta, we had a bit of a scare with Jetta last night. She was being a bit weird. She was just not right. And then at one point she kind of cried out in pain, and I was very worried about her. But she's fine today, aren't you? Aren't you, Muffin? I was a little bit worried there for a minute. Frank. There we go. There he is.
Big Frank.
More Frank, please. There we go. And you just said it was his birthday the other day, yeah? He turned 7?
7 on Sunday.
Oh my God. You've got a 7-year-old in your house. It's amazing.
It's so funny. Like, my cousin posted on Facebook. She's like, oh, it's Drake's 7th birthday. And I realized that her son was born on the same day as Frank and is the same age. It's like a human being. It's kind of weird. You're like, my lizard's the same age as your human being that's like in grade 3 at school.
Fido's asked if that's old for a lizard. I don't know. What's the lifespan?
So they say it's like 7 to 10 years of age, but then like me and Zen are in a Facebook group. It's like a reptile one, and there's some that are on there that are like 18, 20 years old. So
wow,
I don't know if that's like
amazing.
So I don't know if that's like a wild age or if that's, I'm not sure.
Right.
It's very
reptiles.
There's not as much knowledge, so it's like everything's a bit more varied with like info.
He's very cuddly, isn't he? He's very cute.
Very cute.
He's just middle-aged. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for chatting to us today. It's been so lovely to look through all your work and have a chat, and I'm sure everybody in the chat got something out of it. Super appreciate it. I'm going to stick around for a little bit longer, show you guys some of my shots for the ZFC that we just took, but we'll say goodbye to Mitch. Super appreciate you being here.
Thank you.
We'll hopefully catch you at another festival randomly. I don't know, talking to Jared James again. That would be lovely.
Beautiful. If anyone has any questions, they're welcome to contact me as well on Instagram.
Yes, you're very approachable. I'll pop your, let me pop your Instagram. I have it up here ready to go. So here we go. Socials, right there.
Beautiful.
You can follow him on Instagram. Yeah, thanks for being here. Super appreciate it. And fingers crossed we're all shooting non-COVID events soon. Yeah. Catch you soon.
So. Bye.
Bye.